Do you know how frustrating it is for anyone who has more than 100 subscribers that all of a sudden feels entitled, like they shouldn't interact? Like, yeah, all right, YouTube comments, I am bad for. I don't reply to YouTube comments very often.
At the end, but some of them are shit. Some people that comment on YouTube have nothing better to do than to say something negative about the video. And if they have constructive feedback, that's fine. But if they're going out their way to say, "Oh, shit video,"
oh yeah, and look, that's fine. Look, I don't. But it's the positive. It's focusing on that positive. You know, I went through a stage of having a little bit of hate on my video. I wouldn't say it was super bad, but you know, I was getting a solid amount of dislikes on videos, and that could have been because of outside things as well. But I think the reason why I was stuck there for a few weeks or a couple months is because I was always highlighting the negatives as well. Well, why is this happening? And this person should stop doing that, and this person needs to stop chatting shit. The minute you ignore that, you get quiet in your own head, and you can just block out all of that shit the best you possibly can. Because let's be real, when people are like, fuck the haters, I don't know. If you're a person who reads your comments or reads your Instagram DMs or whatever, you're going to see that shit. It is going to happen, but it's about getting as quiet as you can and just focusing on the positives. And so either way, I do my best to reply to everyone on Instagram and, you know, things like the podcast. I randomly will Skype call people. I'll go on Instagram live and chat with people, and, you know, it's interacting with your audience and actually giving a fuck. So I think that's mainly the first reason why, you know, the channel has done so well. 2, again, people say I'm a genius. Some people say it's like your musical knowledge. I just say it's common sense to me. I'm just stating the obvious, and I try and put it in a way where it seems very obvious, and then people are like, oh, I've listened to this song for 5 months now and I didn't realize that. And it's like, well, yeah, take a step back and look at it like this, I guess. I'm not stating anything that nobody is going to be like, oh, that's top secret government information. It's like, no, I'm just stating what some people just haven't thought of yet. This is my perspective. This is my opinion. And it's why I say to people, can people bring some value to their content?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And then I guess the third reason, I don't know. I don't know what's going with that one, but you know.
It's right. Yeah. Just settle with 2.
Yeah.
2, as you said, it's not about the number.
2 is a good number.
It's not about the numbers.
But no. Give a fuck about your audience. Give a fuck about what you're reacting to or reviewing. And 2, I can't even remember my second point. I'm mildly hungover and I'm crumbling as we speak. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you were saying before about the views and like fuck views, I do agree with that. Now, I used to make our backyard cricket videos back in the day.
Yeah, I know.
And I had a few that actually did well and, you know, had 50,000, 60,000 views.
Yeah.
But the video itself wasn't actually that good. Right. Now, that was just, they get views because, you know, Indian people, that's not racism, that's just facts. Indian people watch those videos and appreciate them for what they are, message me, say, great video, I want more. And I sort of grew out of that phase and I didn't want to make those videos anymore. Despite like most of them getting, you know, 20k plus views, I didn't want to continue that if I wasn't getting fulfillment out of it.
Yeah.
So obviously I grew out of that, I stopped that, and I've changed my content a lot, and I still haven't found, you know, my field of exactly what I want to be doing, because you've narrowed it down to, you know, reactions, podcasts, you've got like your set few things that you do and are doing well, but I haven't found that yet. So I'm doing a lot of different type of videos that aren't necessarily getting the same amount of views, but I'm enjoying much more.
Yeah. So good. Try different things. I'm trying different things. I mean, I know roughly what I want to. I know definitely now my content's based around the Oz rap and grime scene and drill scene, I guess now. But, you know, I'm still figuring shit out myself. But with you, it's good. Try different shit. Find out what the fuck you want to do. And maybe you're going to have a 5-year span, let's say you're doing it that long, much longer, of just doing what the fuck you want to do. And I think that's how it should be. Do what you want to do, not where the views take you. Because again, if I wanted to do views, I'd be on UK shit. Let's be real. If it was about views, I would have built up a UK audience and I would have just stuck to that shit. this video, that gets more views. And then I would have hopped on the 1-4 train. And I would have, you know, if I wasn't still aware, hopped on the occasional chilling it and cursor reaction. But, you know, if I wanted to do, views. When people chase views, you're chasing something that's so out of your control. When you then do it for the reason of you really enjoy doing it, whether that's the recording process, whether that's the editing process, whether it's just making content on a game that you like, or, you know, you love doing Q&As, whatever it is, just figure out what the fuck you want to do. And that doesn't just apply to YouTube, that applies to anything. Do what the fuck you want to do. Like, I know parents that they're like, my kid, they're going to be a football player. They're going to love football. And they push them and push them and push them so much to the point where they don't want to do it anymore most of the time. And so for when I have kids, people seem to think I have kids. I must have said a lyric or something in the song. I do mention it in a song here or there, but no, I do not have kids yet. But when I do eventually, I want to put them in as much shit as possible until they turn around and say, this is what I want to keep doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Try as much shit as possible. If you're someone like me that left school and was like, I don't know what the fuck to do, try shit.
Yeah.
Figure out what the fuck you want to do and then triple down on it. And then if you have a way of monetizing that, whether that be through YouTube, whether that be through streaming, whether that be through selling music or opening a business around it, then fantastic. You're living your dream. That's your dream job. Doing what the fuck you want to do and finding a way to monetize it. And finding a way to earn a living or make money. Even if it is a part-time wage from it. You know? That's how you find your dream job.
Yeah. I agree. And that's what I need to do. Because at the moment I'm a bit lost with where I want to go in life. You know, I've gone through the phases of wanting to be a PE teacher. I went to uni for a bit and I thought, you know, it's not for me. And then I did a bit of sports science at uni as well. And I thought, no, I genuinely don't want to do this. And then, you know, even radio. I love talking. I love talking about different things. I love making people laugh, although it hasn't happened this much this podcast. But
nah, you're a funny guy. Don't worry, it comes natural. Yeah. But yeah, go on.
And then like I had a stage of a couple months where I was just down because I didn't know what I wanted to do and I thought it was my fault. But then I was like, look, I just got to try things. I got to do stuff in life to, you know, open my eyes and see different avenues and pathways, and then, you know, I'll end up doing something that I want to do because I am passionate about certain things, and I'm definitely trying to put my foot into the door in different, you know, fields. And
man, look, just keep doing. I mean, I was definitely bad for, especially when I used to do gaming content, bad for having an idea and sitting on it for 6 months to the point where that idea is now dated. Like, the visuals on these podcasts, I mean, it's a Skype call, but I don't have an overlay. I don't have a brand. I don't have a logo. Now, if I was to be doing this 1 year ago, I probably wouldn't have filmed a single podcast episode until everything was perfectly ready. And I think if you're at a top super extreme top level, yes, okay, there has to be some level of quality off the bat. But realistically, I'm just doing. I'm in the process of waiting for someone to make me. I mean, fuck it. Right now, anyone wants to make me a logo or something, do it. Go for it. If I like it enough, I'll use it. But, you know, I want to get the visuals and everything. But at the end of the day, if I sit there and wait for that, I miss out on this podcast. I missed out on the one with Sonda. I missed out on the one with Carl Golly and Nerve, Saru, you know, a bunch of other people. So just do. Take action. Do. I have some videos that are shit.
Yeah, so do I.
That's fine, because you're doing, and I, again, that comes back to the whole thing of don't worry about views. Don't make a video based on the views it gets. I know some people that post things on Instagram, and if they don't get a certain amount of likes within the first 10 minutes, they take it down, and it's like,
it's ridiculous.
Content. The more you put out, the more people. Yeah, all right, you only get 20 views in the first 24 hours on that video as opposed to the 150 on that video. Okay, leave that video with 20 views up. Why? Because that's 20 extra people that could potentially follow you full time. And again, I used to be bad for this. I'm talking because this is what I used to do. I used to oh, this video ain't doing so hot, so we'll just private that. We'll just leave that unlisted. And I used to do that if it weren't doing so hot, unless it was part of a series that you had to leave it up. And then even then, I wouldn't finish the series if I wasn't getting views on the video. And I can understand it is difficult, you know, especially if you're putting a lot of effort and time into your recording and editing process. Like some people don't realize how long it takes to edit some things. It takes a while. I'm sure you understand that. Some things take a while. And so, you know, it is frustrating when you put all of that time in to not get much in return. When you get 5 views and 2 likes, and that's just because they're your closest mates and they're just trying to help.
But at the end of the day, as you said, those 5 views may take you somewhere. And I know I've made some crap videos in the past, but you learn from it and you make your content better based on how that video did. Or, you know, if you're just not feeling a video, or you're not feeling a song that you've put out or something like that, leave it out there. Because you don't want to just cut that out and say, oh, it never happened. It did happen. It wasn't a good moment, or it didn't make you feel the way you wanted to feel, and make something better. That's all. Like, and as you're saying, like, do things in life. Don't sit on something, just do it, right? I agree. 100%. I agree with that, because life is too short. And yeah, it's such a fucking cliche. Life is short. But it is. It really is.
The reason something's cliche or cheesy or corny or whatever term you want to use, because it's true. If you hear it a lot, there's normally some level of truth to it. Like, if somebody tells you you're funny a lot of the time, well, there has to be some truth to it. If someone says, you know, your music's great a lot of the time from many different people, then it's most likely because you naturally make good music. You know, whatever it may be. If you're like, bitch, you ugly. Ugh. Then you know what? Bitch, you might need to just glow up a little. I'm sorry. But there's gonna be some level of truth to it. And so, yeah.
I mean, bitch, you ugly might not be a cliche, but man, you're just throwing out insults now.
Ah, well, you know what? In the words of Specs Gonzalez, there's no rules. And the reason I say that so often, you know why? Because it's true.